So David, so what's one or two things that you took away from this book that sort of were powerful, and how did you apply them?
I think what I took away from it is sort of the lasting idea. In fact, she uses a little different format, but her format's somewhat similar. In coaching, you try to use something that can tag to people. Hers is a little more specific to the psychology,
Right.
but I sometimes like using a similar one that she sort of pushes and encourages. Is I try to ask the 3 questions that I took from financial planners. It's sort of you just sort of beg, borrow, and steal if you can, the good ideas.
Best practices now.
That's right. That's right. Copyright. But also, what the 3 ideas is, if you had all the money that you needed, what would you really do with your life? And then the second one is, obviously, you go to the doctor. The doctor says you have 5 to 10 years to live. What are you going to do? And then the third one is, you only have 24 hours. What are you going to do? And then it really helps focus people, not just looking financially at their lives and things like that, but really asking them to say what's really important. And people usually come down to, obviously, family, obviously, relationships. It's relationship to the divine or God, or spirituality, and other people look about the environment. What do they want to leave as a legacy? So those things usually come to the fore. I've tried it, and I've used what she's talked about in a more elaborate fashion, and it really does get people to get a little more focus. So I've taken that as, there's some validity to this. I don't know if the ICF uses the same model, but I thought this was a good model. So that's one thing that took away.
So Dr. Swart recommends that coaches use that sort of a framework, or if you're going to self-coach, that you use that kind of a framework to help you
right.
focus on what's really important. Is that right?
Right. And she has a whole thing. She has a section in there that I think people who do coaching probably don't talk about enough, but the physiological aspect she talks about. She goes into not just the chemistry and how the brain is put in the central nervous system, but she also talks about, your gut and your the microbiome, as they call it, which is sort of current or rising in medical practice, to realize that even your gut, your body has all sorts of different mechanisms that are going back and forth. And there's a lot of research on it that she goes into. But it's for a layperson's ability to be able to take it in. You don't have to get all technical and become, subject matter expert in it. So I thought it was good. But what she really talked about is eating certain things. She prescribes, certain types of foods rather than other foods that can help you to be a little healthier and things like that. So, whereas a lot of coaching books can just talk about, rethinking the mindset and going with the mindset, she also gives you a practical way to do some initial, if you've never been exposed to it, mindfulness, meditation, a little yoga, breathing, planting yourself, being recognizing. So she takes you through and get a little guided meditation. So I thought that extra little piece has really sort of made a difference.
Yeah, she crosses boundaries in her work, doesn't she? I mean, it's almost like it gives you the biological and the physiological reason why those things that we coaches have been talking to our coachees about for years,
right.
about focus and strategy and goal setting, and gives you a real physiological background about why that actually works.
Right. And I also did like her ideas. So the source, you could see it as sort of in a new agey type of way, and seeing it as, well, what are we really talking about? Is the deepest part of the self, or is it the larger spirit, or, that we live within? That's what she's talking about. But she's also harnessing a little bit of what we call in the popular genre is the power of attraction. And,
right.
The power of attraction can seem a little simplistic and a little bit woo-woo at times for people. But on the other hand, having a sort of an expansive mindset and thinking that good things in abundance is going to come your way really can help you, especially in a time that we're in right now, where you're feeling a little bit, some companies are going out of business. People are worrying about their jobs and their prospects. They're worrying about family and friends. And, the world in front of us is changing. And yet there are still opportunities out there. And I think her book can help you to sort of overcome a little bit that, if you're looking at from a certain point of view from helping people coaching. One thing that I find that working with a client is they want to talk, talk about their immediate fears and things like that. And you want to get them a little bit to look a little further on and say, yeah, this is today, I understand what you need to do, but you want to be able to get them to, so that the fear and the depression doesn't overwhelm them. So.